Hi everyone, welcome to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name's Juno, and today we're going to be starting a new series on my Tarot YouTube channel with a weekly check-in. So this is going to be once a week. I'm going to have a very long and in-depth reading, and then the next couple of days throughout the week I'm going to be doing some more shorter readings as well. If you haven't checked them out already, I've been experimenting with a few quick readings that I have up on my website. junodrome.com, or on my YouTube channel. You just click on the videos. And so I'm going to be kind of doing these like weekly sort of in-depth ones so that I can do the more quick ones throughout the week as well, and then it's a nice balance, because I think it's nice to have super in-depth readings as well as some more quick fun stuff. So before I get started on this, we are entering into Leo season. We entered into Leo season on the 22nd of July. And so this weekly reading and weekly check-in is going to be all about what to expect from Leo season, what's coming up for you for the week, kind of where you are, what your energies are like, and where you're moving towards, and then sort of filtered through this new astrological season that we've just entered. Leo is all about unlocking your own personal power. So it's probably going to be a lot of things that you're coming up against in order to express your own personal power, or things that are clearing out of your life to give you more personal freedoms. So each of these piles are going to show you sort of where we're at, and I'm going to do, like always, a quick nature meditation, and then after that I'm going to show you the piles and which ones to choose from. If you go down to the comment section below this video, I will have listed pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they will be listed in the comments for you to click on the link. After the quick nature meditation, I will show you them up close, and then you'll just click on the one that you want. You can skip ahead to the card selection as well down in the comment section. So without further ado, here is a nature meditation for you, and then we'll get started into your reading. Thanks. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. We've got a couple of things in this reading for you that I will set to the side here. I've got some tarot cards, and then I've got some oracle cards and a rune stone. So we'll be kind of mixing and matching between all of those. Maybe I'll go back and forth for each one. I'm kind of incorporating some things that I've learned from doing my quick readings, so there'll be a lot of channeling happening within this video, as well as strict definitions of the cards, and kind of find a good match and mix between those two different formats. So first off, starting off, we will tune into your rune stone here. The first one we have here is Hagalaz. You can see that there. Hopefully that will show up well. This is the Rune of Disruption. It's very similar to the Devil card in the tarot, but it's a little bit different. It can talk about liberation and freedom. It can talk about overcoming challenges. And it can talk about sort of ending cycles of addiction, potentially, but more so coming out of those cycles. Ending those things and kind of coming into a new sense of self. And it can talk about doing shadow work. It's got a lot of underworld energy, so it can talk about needing to do shadow work in the sense of looking at the things within yourself that are hidden and accepting those parts of yourself, moving through and working through those parts of yourself. So I think as you enter into Leo season here, you're being asked to look into the parts of yourself that you have been hidden, that you're holding back from, and how can you liberate yourself from those and reconnect with your own personal power. For your tarot cards, we'll do these. I've got 3 different decks to go from here, so maybe I'll do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the side over here. We'll do the first 3. We've got the Swiss deck first. First card is, haha, 10 of Pentacles. All right, so that's some abundance energy coming in here. That is great. Great way to start. You're working through liberation in towards working on abundance. Ooh, yep, we've got the moon. Okay, those hidden forces. I was talking about that before. The moon can talk about things that are hidden that we don't quite see, and starting to come to a better sense of understanding through that. It's also developing an intuition, becoming more in tune with your emotions. As you can see here, we've got the lobster and the crab imagery to incorporate the water signs and Cancer. We just left Cancer season too, so potentially this is talking about a lot of the emotional work that you've done over the last month and a half that's going to be paying off now here. You're liberating yourself from some of that with this Hagalaz energy and reconnecting with your own personal power. And then we have the 3 of Cups, which means coming together with friends in celebration. So maybe if you were potentially in some sort of isolation for a while, you're now exiting that and entering into a really celebratory time. This is summer. This weekly check-in maybe is telling you to where can you find your own sense of happiness within yourself and with those around you. And yeah, connecting with friends maybe can really help you this week. For the next tarot decks that we're using, I have my hand-drawn deck, which is actually based off of the Swiss deck a bit. That was kind of the first deck that I had. I had a book based on the Swiss deck that was my grandmother's that I made my own tarot deck off of. And then, like magic, one day I found the Swiss deck in a thrift store, which just blew my mind. So yeah, that was pretty cool. We've got the 6 of Pentacles here. This can talk about a coming into a sense of balance and a give and a take. Talks about a give and a take. Either being in a position to give back to others or being in a position where asking for help is okay. So it really talks about how it's okay to ask for help, and potentially when you're coming together with friends, maybe some of this emotional stuff that you're going through, this sort of inner turmoil you might be experiencing, you could potentially go and ask friends for help in that situation. So ask yourself, who are the people in my life that I can go to and ask questions to, and how can they help me? Where can I reach out for help? And then where can I be of service to others as well? And will that make me feel good as well? So it's kind of a give and a take. We've got the 9 of Cups here. Oh, that's great. So that's kind of being very close to ultimate emotional fulfillment, but it's kind of somebody who's become very comfortable with themselves and is quite happy and content within their own life. So you have that coming in. There's a lot of really wonderful cards here, especially with this liberation card. You know, it is this underworld energy, this Hagalaz, but it, like I said, it talks about liberation from those things. So I really see you coming out of some difficult periods here and really kind of moving into some a whole new phase of being. And I think that that's kind of where a lot of us are at right now. We're at this interesting point in our collective cycle where we are starting to break out of a lot of these old things and move into the new cycle. We've got a new cycle altogether here that's open to us and is really asking us now to really tune in and connect with that new cycle. Oh yeah, here we go. Five of Cups talks about loss. But you see, the thing about this one, this is the deck I drew myself. Normally in the Raider-Waite-Smith deck, there are 2 cups that are remaining. He's crying over 3 that have spilt, but there's still 2 left, which indicates that there's still something left for you. You haven't lost everything in your life. You've only lost a few things. With this card, it adds an extra dimension to it because I've only drawn 1 cup remaining. So what that means to me is that you've lost a lot in your life, yes, but what that means, though, is that you actually have 1 cup remaining, so you have more clarity now, more than ever, of your path forward. Yes, you've lost a lot of things, but those things were things that needed to leave your life so that you could find your path forward. So now you have a clear path for you on how to move forward, on what you need in your life, and what that means for you. So I really do see that, you know, I definitely get the feeling that you had some tricky things coming from your past, and you know, you had some not so easy things going on with this Hagalaz. It really can talk about, you know, the cycle before being quite difficult. And with the moon here, I do see some emotional confusion, and now with the 5 of Cups, there was a certain sense of loss in your past as well. But the thing about that is, there's so many cards here talking about celebration. You're entering into a period where you can celebrate with friends and really be in this happy, joyful energy with others around you. You've got the 10 of Pentacles here. It was your first card out, which is talking about ultimate abundance. So you have this path towards physical, material, health, abundance, ultimate abundance coming into your life. This energy of abundance is here for you now. So whatever's happened in your past, that is a cycle that's now over, and you have this new cycle coming in. And it's a give and a take, right? You've got this balance card as well. So sometimes you're still going to feel the residual energy of this loss energy, this period of sadness. It's not going to be totally gone away yet, because that's kind of what happens when you enter in a new cycle. You still have the remnants of the old one, and you still have some lessons to process. So I think that maybe this week, in where you are in the moment, is kind of coming into a sense of processing these things that you've let go, and now you're ready to work towards this ultimate abundance that's coming to you. Let's see your final 3 tarot cards. We have the Ace of Swords. So you have a new beginning that's coming from your mind, right? The swords are all about the mental body and the mental sphere. And if you can hold this up a little bit so you can kind of see this. The swords are all about the mental body and the mental sphere. So they're all about our thoughts, how we process information, our minds, and our mental body. And so this card is really kind of talking about coming into a new beginning. The aces are all about brand new starts. It's a new beginning where you are potentially shifting your perspective. So that's something that can happen too with this 5 of Cups. We get lost a lot in the sadness part where the cups have fallen and we've lost a lot. But the thing about that is that now you get to shift your perspective to what you have remaining and your path forward, right? You have a path forward towards abundance. It's here for you. You have clarity. That's here for you now too as well. The Ace of Swords can talk about coming into a new clarity period. So I think that maybe you're going to be processing a lot of this information now of what's happened, and you're going to be moving forward with a new perspective based on where you've been. And we've got the Queen of Cups. Yeah. So she is one of the most loving cards in the entire deck. She's the most compassionate female card in this deck. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, the feminine and masculine energy are archetypes. We don't necessarily have to gender these cards. But what's interesting about this one is that she is so kind and gentle and nurturing. So you're being asked to nurture as well, and to nurture yourself, honestly. I get that sense from this. The Queen of Cups is asking you to work on self-love through this period, because that's going to free you from these this darker energy, or this heavier energy that's in that you're leaving. The more that you nurture yourself and you give love to yourself, the more that you're going to be free to live in the new cycle that's come in, which is all based around this friendship and celebratory nature and abundance. So really give yourself some love this week. I'm getting that sense. Oh, here we go. The devil. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the devil and the Hegela's energy are very similar. So that's kind of confirming that to me. You know, the devil is all about, in a modern interpretation, a lot of people have started explaining it to be more of a liberation card, and have really kind of celebrated for that. It can talk about addictions. It can talk about whatever it is in life that you're being chained to. You see both of these figures are chained to the devil here. And it's how we chain ourselves to a mental thought process, a pattern, any kind of thing that we've chained ourselves towards. And so the devil talks about letting that all go, and the importance of really looking at what in your life are you addicted to, you know, like, and addictions don't have to be anything super crazy. You can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to anxiety. You can be addicted to chronic worry. You can be addicted to overeating, you know, any of these things that we use to cope, right? To cope through situations when it would be much more in our best interest to face those situations head on, because coping is a form of escapism, and escaping is pushing away the problem and the pain and what's causing us pain. And the problem with that is that when you push it away, you're not actually getting rid of it. You're just masking it, and it's still there, and it's like festering and really hurting you, and it's digging deeper and deeper into you. And the more that you push it away, the harder it is to even know that it's there. And it can oftentimes, I know for me, when I push things away, it ends up what do you call it? It ends up pushing itself into my life as depression, and expressing itself as depression. And so if you have been experiencing those kinds of depressing modes and feelings of feeling that depression, to me, that means that you have, at least for me, and this has worked for me, and this spread is really kind of showing me that, like, what are the things that you have buried within you, with the moon card here as well? What are those things that are buried inside, and how can I release those? How can I bring those up? How can I show myself self-compassion and love to bring those things to the surface and deal with them head on, so that I free myself and my personal power, and I can move towards this abundance? And I think, like I said, I think this is something you've already been working on. With the moon here and the Cancer imagery, I think the last month and a half has been a lot of that processing for you. I think you've already been doing this in some sense with the moon card there. And so now, with this Five of Cups energy, I think you're ready, with the Ace of Swords, particularly in shifting your perspective, you're ready to move your perspective from these Four Cups that have fallen, from the things in your life that you've lost, from the pain and the struggle and the hardship that you've been through. You're ready to switch your perspective from those things to, what do you have left? What's remaining in your life? What is pushing you forward now? Where are you now? Where are you in this present moment? And where do you want to go? Where in life do you want to move next? Because life is it's an open book. You've got an open platform ahead of you to do whatever you choose, because it's your life and it's open to you. So I think that this Leo season for you in particular is really going to be about letting go of the things that have been holding you back and really embracing you for you with this self-love energy and coming into your own personal power to find your own abundance. Where is that for you? Following your own inner intuition by allowing yourself to switch your perspective from a lot of the pain that's happened, you're going to start being able to hear your own intuition a lot better. If you'd like to learn more about intuition and connecting better to your intuition, if there's something blocking you and you don't know what it is, I did a really great quick read on my channel last week. You can find that reading. It's great. It's just a short reading of how can you boost your own intuitive ability. So please check that out. I think that that would do wonders for you in particular, pile number 1. So that is your tarot reading cards. Let's do the final 3 oracle and symbol cards. These, I got, first one here is the Fairytale Lenormand, which I'm not reading as an actual Lenormand deck right now. I'm just using it for the imagery. We've got the snake. Okay. And you can see there's like a little mongoose there too as well. Snakes aren't necessarily scary, although they can be. A lot of times snakes can represent knowledge, right? And the snake was kind of like got the Adam and Eve story with the snake or whatever, blah, 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 you know it. The thing about it though, is that the opposite end of that is that, you know, it's a lot of people find that to be actually this sort of hidden thing that instead of it being kind of a bad thing that they unlock the tree of knowledge, you know, it's sort of actually talking more about connecting to your own inner wisdom and your own connection to the divine and the ecstatic. And so, you know, the snake is really associated with this sort of Kundalini force, Kundalini rising energy, which feel free to look that up, where it's kind of this idea that it's representative of the spine and the way that energy moves up the spine. So it's moving energy from the base chakra all the way up the body, up into your forehead and up and beyond. And so it's connecting you and your energy to the divine, right? Which is definitely about boosting that intuition. So once again, to me, this is just kind of clarifying to go check out that intuition reading because I think that it would really help you. But you are kind of entering into a period now once you clear out a lot of this stuff, especially these addictive patterns and any of these stuff. That's the thing about the addictions is like we give them too much power. I think a lot of the times we give addictions way too much power over us when in reality it's addictions are avoidance. So instead of beating yourself up for doing an addictive behavior, start asking yourself, well, why am I doing that addictive behavior? What am I avoiding by following these addictions? And that's by connecting to this self-love energy that can really start to help you with that. And I think that when you can stop avoiding and face things head on, once you clear those out, then you're clear. Like you're in the clear. When you can process those things, it might take a minute. Like I'm not gonna, especially if you've been blocking something for a long time, it might take a while, but not that long. I mean, I've dealt with an extreme depression in my life and incredible blocking a lot of things off and not dealing with a lot of things. And I kind of had to stop and take time to process it. But the thing about it is that the universe will work with you. Like, always. If you are ready and willing to improve yourself and put in the work to improve yourself, your entire life will open up to that. 100%. And like I said, I think that these are some things that you've been processing for a while anyway. So I don't think it's going to take you that long to switch your perspective because I think you've already been mulling this stuff over. So now you're in the phase of really starting to connect into your intuition to move forward and to really kind of let go of anything that's remaining that's blocking you and really diving headfirst into connecting to your own intuitive abilities. And that's going to really open you up to this abundance energy. And, I think maybe you'll start manifesting something new in your life, especially with this cup that's remaining. You can really talk about kind of moving forward with this single goal perspective. And a lot of that is like connecting into this sort of law of attraction, abundance manifestation stuff. So I really feel that you're going to be starting to work on that kind of thing coming up now. For your next card, this is from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. We've got the 9 of Wands, which talks about being overburdened. But the thing about this one in particular is it's a pyramid walking up to the moon. So we have the moon here as well. It's stepping stones. You got to take it one step at a time as you walk towards this moon energy. Wow, it's like the same kind of moon. We got a crescent moon. Yeah, I really feel this is talking about that. And so you want to take it one step at a time. Nothing happens at once. In order to really rise to this top of this pyramid here, you really got to take it a step at a time. So give yourself time and space, right? If you're trying to create a whole new life for yourself, if you have this idea of, oh, this is what I'm working towards now, this is what I'm trying to attract this abundance, give yourself time, have patience. Nothing happens all together, but you will get there. And here we go, this Kundalini rising as well, I think is this pyramid energy kind of talks about that as well with the snake here too. You're moving that energy up your spine and up to the top of your head and out and over. And that's kind of exactly what this is about. So I really do feel for you that you've got this connection to the other realms, to the divine, to whatever you want to call it, to your higher self, to something bigger. You're starting to really kind of dive into that, and it's going to be opening itself up to you in a way that you've never experienced before now. Once you really let go of this devil energy with Hegel-Oz, when you liberate yourself from these patterns that have been holding you back, you're going to be opening yourself up to this ability to really dive deep inside and connect in to what it is that you need to be doing, what you need for you, what you want to manifest, what you want to be, who you want to be and live, and take your time with it. This kind of stuff takes time. Take some time out to go to the beach with some friends and chill out. It's summertime, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere like I am. And so, yeah, enjoy yourself, enjoy your moment. And this is, make sure that you have fun as much as you're also working towards these other things. Final card, we've got the Shamanic Healing Oracle with divine timing. Yes, exactly. That talks exactly about the patient stuff. This is so on point. I'm going to read that out from the book just so you have another person's perspective, because I think that it's really helpful to have that. But this talks exactly about that things come in the right moment, and it's important to be patient, and that it's okay to be patient. So, wow, that's amazing. How often do you feel that you want things in your life to change now? Not 2 years from now, not even 2 months, but right this instant. Seldom do we see the whole picture of why our lives are unfolding the way they are. We don't need to. What we need to do is surrender to the way things are right now. This doesn't mean to not take action when the situation is untenable. What it means is to let your life unfold before you so that you have access to all the information, all the lessons, and all the people you will need to go where you are headed. Divine timing is at work in this situation. Try not to fight it. Instead, go within during meditation and ask the questions you want answers to. Why not now? How can I best prepare myself? What lessons do I need to learn prior to the change I want to see? You will get answers. So there you go. I mean, I think that is totally applicable to all of this, right? If you are still letting go of some of these old cycles and this addiction energy, give yourself time and give yourself space. It's okay. You have the time to let it go. And even if you finally let that go and now you're working on towards these other things, you got to process stuff. You got to let things happen as they're happening. I see that you're working towards ultimate abundance. It's here in the spread. Like I said, it was the first tarot card out. So the most important message for you to know, even if you're in a dark place or you're in a tough place, remember that that's where you're working towards, and it's there. It's coming to you. But in order to get it, right, it's one step at a time with this particular Nine of Wands card here, you got to take each step as they come. It's going to happen in a step and a step and a step and a step. And you don't have to know all the steps. You don't have to know all of what's happening. In fact, you don't. Remember, this divine card was saying, you know, you haven't gotten all of the lessons yet. You haven't learned all of that you need to learn yet before you could know step 13, you know? So you're at step 1, and that's okay. Take step 1. Do step 1 the best way you can do step 1 right here, right now. And that, by doing that, by giving your entire energy and devotion to step 1, that will take you to step 2 super quick. And then you'll be at step 2 and you do the same thing. And then you'll be at step 3 and you do the same thing. And before you know it, you're at step 7 and you're like, whoa, how did I get all the way to step 7? I was just at step 1. That was me. You know, I did that. I started at my lowest point of my entire life was not even a year ago, about almost a year ago. I was pretty low a year ago. A year ago I was low, but yeah, okay, I started it on my journey of really kind of like really diving into me and the lessons I needed for me and to move beyond a lot of these struggle stuff that had been keeping me back about a year ago. Leo season last year. And now in this entire year, I've come so far. And here I am giving you this tarot reading as well. I've started my own business. I'm really working towards a lot, and it's all kind of starting to happen. And I feel that, and I feel that energy. But I didn't even know a year ago that I wanted to even do tarot readings. I had no idea. I had read tarot before. I had kind of dabbled in it a little bit, and I was really interested in, you know, some interesting magic stuff and some ceremonial magic stuff and some kind of manifestation things, but I didn't know what I wanted. I had no connection to my own personal empowerment and my own inner guidance and inner light, and my connection to the divine wasn't really something I recognized. But I took it one step at a time, and I knew that I needed to improve myself, and I knew that I needed to get out of a lot of this stuff that was holding me back. And it really worked out for me. And I still have a long way to go for sure, but I've been doing a lot of processing with this Cancer season of looking back a year ago. And I kind of feel like you are sort of where I was a year ago. And honestly, the year went by like that. It was so quick. I know a year sounds like a long time, but it's not, especially when you're taking it one day at a time and you're taking it one step at a time. So stick with it. It's really working out for you. I see that. Remember, you have ultimate abundance coming to you. It is here for you. The thing about it is, it is here right now. Your abundance is here. You've already manifested it. The thing is, you've got a lot of mental stuff and a lot of stuff that it's in the way of you and that. There's a lot of things that you are doing that you're holding yourself back. And I don't mean don't be hard on yourself. That's actually one of the things that's holding you back. But connecting into your self-love, it's starting to stop seeing it as you fighting yourself and start seeing it as you working with yourself, seeing yourself fully, accepting all aspects of yourself. This Hagalaz energy, if we're connecting into shadow work, I would Google shadow work and look up some techniques. There's a lot of really great people on YouTube who talk specifically about shadow work. And, you know, I watched a lot of those kinds of videos to help myself through a lot of that stuff. And I think that's really going to help you, because once you can accept those parts of yourself and let those things go, then you'll be able to open yourself up to this abundance that's already here for you. It's already here. So yeah, remember, be patient. It's going to take time, but that's okay. And in fact, the more patient you can become, honestly, the faster it can start coming in for you, because then you start tuning yourself into, okay, what is it, the work that needs to be done? What is it that I need to get done? What can I do to help with that? And yeah, I really see that opening up for you. And, you know, these kinds of tarot readings on YouTube can really help with that. I've been watching them for a long time, and they helped me turn my whole life around. Honestly, I've improved so much from them. So this is a resource that's open to you. If you would like a more in-depth reading, a more personal reading, because this was general. This is all very general. I can do a one-on-one that can talk about way, way, way more specific stuff on your life. So just check out my website, junodrome.com. I'm running a special right now for discounts on YouTube subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel. Comment and let me know what you think either way. I would love to hear from you. It can really kind of help me gauge with what's going on. Let me know if you like this idea of a weekly check-in. I'm going to be doing them probably on Fridays moving forward. So thanks. Have a great day, pile number one. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Hi there, pile number two. Welcome to your weekly check-in. Welcome to Leo season. Let's see how you can get in touch with your own personal power. So I've got a few things on this new in-depth reading format that I'm trying out. We've got some oracle cards. I've got 3 different tarot decks with 3 cards each, and I've got a rune stone. So we'll start out with the Rune Stone, and then we'll do your tarot cards, and then we'll get into the oracle cards to give us some supplemental information. First up, we've got Jera. Jera is the rune of harvest and cycles. As you can see, to me, it really reminds me of a yin and yang symbol. It's very similar to that energy, which is the balancing of forces. And Jera can talk about, it's the harvest, but it's also, it's the entire cycle that leads up to the harvest. So it's the planting cycle and the harvest cycle. It's how the two kind of reflect each other. It can talk about a whole year's period because of that. And it's sort of, it's the beginning and the end. And it's the start of the race and the finish line. It's kind of the connection of both of those opposite forces and how they are one cycle between the two. So for me, this is, I don't really have too much to go off of right now, but I'm really getting that sense of cycles for you. You are ending cycles, beginning a new cycle. Like I was saying in pile number one, I really get this, I get this feeling and this energy with this moment in this Leo season that we're in, that especially collectively, I think we have exited one cycle as a collective, and now we are entering into another one. And so we have come across this hump into this new phase. So now it's sort of seeing what that means for us. For your tarot cards, first deck that we have out is the Swiss deck. First up, we've got the King of Pentacles. He talks about ultimate abundance. So the kings are the culmination of the Pentacles suit. They are the highest card in the suit that you can get. And the Pentacles are all about abundance, physical well-being, having money, having health, being stable in your environment. So you've got that coming out right away. You've got this King of Pentacles energy driving this reading, which is great. You've got the Five of Cups, which talks about loss. It talks about losing some things. In the traditional Raider-Waite-Smith deck, it's depicted as a man who is crying over 3 cups that have spilt in front of him. But the thing about it, this card always indicates the 2 cards hiding behind him. He still has 2 cards left over, so not everything in his life is lost, but he is kind of focused on the loss that's happened. So we'll start to see maybe some more cards that can talk about this. You've got the Seven of Swords here. This card indicates being, having some people around you who are dishonest, or being in an energy that's surrounding you that is uncomfortable, being around people who aren't quite on the same page as you and maybe not so nice or so good for you, and being surrounded by some people that aren't that great for you sometimes. For the hand-drawn deck, I drew this deck myself, actually based off of the Swiss deck, which is pretty fun. we've got the Five of Swords here, which can talk about deception. And that's either people around you who are deceptive, or oftentimes when I get this, it tends to mean self-deception. So where are the aspects of your life that you are self-sabotaging, holding yourself back, lying to yourself? And especially in connection with this Seven of Swords card, when they're together, it can be kind of a painful combination of having some people in your life that aren't good for you, and knowing that on a certain level in the back of your head, that there are some people in your life that aren't the best and that maybe you would be better off not being around as much, but trying to wash those away, like just write off those feelings that you have. Well, I can't imagine. That person can't be that. I'm being silly. I'm being stupid. I'm not being right. But in reality, you got to trust yourself on those kinds of feelings, because you'll know deep down when somebody is good for you and when they're not so good for you. Like, it'll be in your connection to know that information. So listening to yourself, I think, is going to be really important in this. And maybe you've already lost these people, right? With the lost card here, maybe that's kind of already happened. Potentially you had some people who weren't so great and you weren't exactly listening to yourself, and it kind of led you into a difficult period that you've now potentially left. Because like I said, you started this reading with the King of Pentacles. So you have this ultimate abundance energy around you and present within you. So regardless of these circumstances that may have happened, you still have that energy going for you. And it's the cycles card. So maybe this is your last cycle that you went through potentially. Oh, and we have the Justice card. So that's great. So, you know, reaping what you sow, but also kind of like if there were people who weren't so great around you or to you, you are going to be receiving justice now for that. Or you, at the end of this cycle, as it started to happen, now that you're at the end of it and coming out into a new cycle, this new cycle is all about justice for you. And a lot of times when we have these difficult situations with people and we enter into these, they are lessons for us. We don't necessarily know how to deal with these kinds of people or these kinds of situations in our life, difficult people, difficult situations, until we experience them. And by experiencing that, then we gain the knowledge and the lessons needed to be able to recognize that in other people moving forward. So with this Justice card here, I think that maybe as you enter into your new cycle, it's going to be a lot less heavier than this past one, because you have now learned these lessons that you needed to learn from going through those difficult situations. So now you don't have to take those on anymore. You can let that cycle go and start a new cycle without surrounding yourself by these deceptive energies or these self-deceptions, these self-sabotaging energies. And we've got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, exactly. So you've got a new journey starting with your own, connecting to your own personal power, which is exactly what Leo season is all about. The wands are all about passions, drives, connecting now to your own inner passions, what makes you tick, what makes you go. You're going to start seeing that better. You're going to be starting to connect yourself to your own sense of you and your own inner drive, so that you can become this King of Pentacles. You can manifest yourself the stability and the physical world around you that's comforting and peaceful, and you can leave behind some of these heavier, darker potentially energies that haven't been working out for you, and move into this new phase of being, be in this justice power. I do think potentially pile number one could be helpful for you as well. It's different though. It talks more about sort of addictive cycles that we've been in and being stuck in those and leaving those behind. Whereas I think that maybe you're on the other side of that. I really do with this Tarot card. I think you've already gone through a lot of this dark periods and now you're coming out to another side of it. Whereas pile number one, I think, is still kind of in that, but knows that they're coming out of it at some point. So maybe pile number two, pile number one was you a year ago, you know, or something like that. So interesting. For the Raider-Waite-Smith deck, we've got the Nine of Cups, which is a great card. That was in the last pile as well, so maybe you should check out pile number one. But the Nine of Pentacles is all about being stable and happy within yourself, and being present and aware in this wonderful emotional well-being state based on being happy with you, for you, in your own self, in your own power, doing things the way you need for you, and being present with yourself. So I really see that aspect available to you now. You've got this emotional contentment coming to you. We've got the Four of Swords. That's funny. The Four of Swords is the rest card. It's all about taking a break. So I think that you've been through some really difficult and some challenging things, and now it's time to rest. It's time to recoup, and it's time to really give back to yourself. You know, with this Nine of Cups energy, be okay being alone for a minute, you know? Be okay being by yourself and be comfortable in your own present energy. I know for me, you know, I kind of let go of a lot of people in my life pretty recently, and I've actually never been happier. And I don't mean that in a negative way. You know, I actually mean that in a positive way, where I've connected back into my own sense of self, and I've let go of the need to compromise, to live my life the way that others want me to be, and to focus in on who I am and what I want and how I want to be. And a lot of that means I got to be kind of alone for a minute, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, take this time to rest and to recoup yourself, because you're going to be supercharged leaving that resting period towards finding this abundance for yourself. It's coming in now. And then the Justice card again. Wow, double confirmation. All right, you've got some great things coming to you, you know, based on the work. Like I think you've put in work, and you're going to keep putting in the work, and you're going to see results from that. And, you know, good things are coming to you. And, you know, potentially too, like, let go of having to worry about these other people. You know, if you had other people do you wrong, or, you know, people not so great around in your life, like, they'll get what's coming to them. That's how karma works. You don't have to worry about that. You got to let that go. Let it go. Don't need to see them doing whatever, you know, you don't need to whatever. They got their thing, whatever. And just let them go. Let them be. Because honestly, like, karma will reach everyone. It always does. And it's not in this, like, spiteful way. It's more in, like, we've all got lessons to learn on this earth. And if we aren't willing to listen to those and to find them, then we're going to keep getting pushed and kicked in the butt in different situations in our life until we learn the lessons to move into something much calmer and easier for us. So let go of all those people. It doesn't matter anymore. You have your own justice coming back to you, your own sense of well-being coming to you, and a new sense of balance. We've got two balances here because you're really moving back into a more balanced period for yourself. So that's wonderful. I think that's great. You know, with these cycles card, it's either you are entering into this period now, and a year from now it's going to be incredibly great, or you've already been doing it for a year and now you're starting to move past it. So I would recommend watch pile number 1, see if that resonates for you or not. Like I said, that's kind of being at the beginning of this stage, and I feel like this is more being at the end of that stage. But they're both two aspects of a very similar cycle. So check that out if you want. Now we're going to get into the oracle cards. First one, we've got the Fairytale Lenormand, which I'm not going to read it as the Lenormand deck. I'm just really going to get imagery from it. So we've got the bears here, which has got these two children as well. To me, with the two little girls there, I really kind of get the sense of connecting back into your childlike inner magic. And then with the bear, you've got bear imagery as well. There's also 3s coming in on this card as well, because there's 3 faces. There's also one in the bear. I don't know if you can see that or not. But this card is whoops. It's all about kind of connecting back into your inner child and, you know, connecting into the powerful version of you that's there as well. You've got your own inner magic and your own spirit coming in here and kind of reclaiming your own inner child. So doing some inner child work, I think, can really help you as well, of, you know, loving yourself for you. A lot of times with this self-deception energy, when we get tied in with some people and caught in these cycles where we give somebody our everything because we just need them to accept us and love us, and that especially a lot of times that attracts the kind of person that that kind of uses people like that, or is emotionally, what do you call it? Emotionally distant. And so we just keep giving and giving because like we just need to get that back from that person. The thing about it is that a lot of times that can talk about having a real damaged self-esteem and damaged inner child. And going back in and loving your inner child can really help you connect into being back at your own sense of peace and calm, because that love connection that you're getting, that you're craving, that craving for acceptance that you just need. The thing about it is that that's present within you. That's not something you can actually get from somebody else. You have to build that foundation yourself. Trying to get somebody else to do that and to fulfill you in that way will only ever lead to codependent cycles. And so if you're breaking this codependent cycle, you know, like I said, this 9 of Cups here, connecting back into being content on your own for you, I think is really going to help you in this, in coming back out of this. Because then, you know, if you can be comfortable on your own without, not saying that you have to be alone, you don't have to isolate yourself, but by being comfortable without needing desperately this attention or this need to have other people accept you, if you can accept yourself first, then you'll be able to attract the people in your life who connect with that and really want to be with you for you, instead of you just need somebody who also needs somebody. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's look at your next card. Oh yeah, we got the 2 of Pentacles. I was talking about balance before, but also this butterfly imagery. So you've got the infinite symbol in the middle there, this connection of balancing between forces, which the 2 of Pentacles is normally about. But then you also have the butterfly. So you've transformed now into this beautiful butterfly that you're leaving your cocoon. I really do feel that with this Jarrah card. I think that those were some cycles that you were in, and now you're ready to blossom into this really beautiful butterfly that you're opening up into. So that's finally here for you, which is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Final card for the Shamanic Healing Oracle. Oh my God. I haven't seen any of these cards. I didn't look at any of these cards. You got self-love. This is literally what I was just talking about. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to read that from the book. That's so great. I love it. I love it when this happens. Self-love. We always try to think so highly of the ones we love. We even give strangers the benefit of the doubt. But when it comes to self-love, many of us fall woefully short. To love oneself is to accept imperfection, embrace learning, and battle through the all-consuming fires of self-doubt in order to find the energetic balance inside each of us. What was it talking about balancing? You got 3 different cards talking about balancing here. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Be aware of the small, insidious voice that perhaps repeats the negative self-assessment you had as a child. Maybe an ex-lover or friend put a label on you that you've accepted. These self-judgments have no place in a whole, healthy relationship that is vital to have with yourself. It's only when you find your love for yourself that you can sincerely offer love to others. There you go. There you go. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So there you go, friend. Love yourself. That comes first. If you can love yourself unconditionally first, then you can be with anybody, you know? And then you can find the people who are going to love you too, because that's the other thing too, is it's like we reflect the relationships of how we feel about ourselves. So if you feel like crap about yourself, if you hate yourself and you don't like yourself, you don't appreciate yourself, you're going to attract in people who also feel that about you. And why would you want to be around somebody like that? So like, why are you doing that to you, you know? You wouldn't do that to somebody else. I'm sure you're a very loving, nurturing, caring, kind person. So give that to yourself. Give that gift to you. The 9 of Cups talks about giving yourself gifts, giving yourself back, giving back to yourself. It's important. It's so important. So yeah, love yourself, friend. I really see that being important for you. That's your reading. Let me know either way in the comments what you think. If you want an actual personal reading, because this is very general, but my personal readings, they get very detailed and very, very in-depth for you specifically. So please let me know if you'd like one. I have 2 different options on my website, doing a quick little discount for YouTube subscribers. So check that out, www.junodrome.com, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing these weekly check-ins once a week, probably on Fridays. I like this day. It's kind of my Monday. I tend to take Wednesday, Thursday off. So yeah, check that out, and then check out the little quick readings that will be each day the next couple days. So yeah, let me know what you think either way, though. Comment down below. I really love to hear from everybody and kind of see how things are going, if they resonate with you, what you feel about it. So yeah, thank you so much, friends. Have a great day. Hey there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So today's weekly check-in is all about welcoming you into Leo season. So Leo season just started on the 22nd, and now we're going to do its weekly check-in of seeing kind of where you're at right now and where Leo season is bringing you this week. So we've got this new format I'm doing. I've got 3 different tarot decks with 3 cards each, and then I have some oracle decks, and I've got a rune stone. So we'll start right now with the rune, and then we'll get into the tarot, and then finish up with the oracle decks. Yay! So for your rune stone, you've got Awaz, which is the rune of defense. It can talk about encountering obstacles in your life and potentially being stuck in a challenging situation, but the larger dimension to that is that oftentimes those situations are actually lessons for us. They are here to give us guidance in how to move forward, and they're actually here for us to learn from them. And once we learn that lesson, then we can move on with our lives and be more at peace. So potentially you've got some lessons coming into you here. For your tarot decks, the first one that we have is the Swiss deck. First card up, is the High Priestess, which is depicted as Junon, because this deck is in French, which means Juno. So it's connected to with the goddess Juno, but it's a High Priestess is all about connecting to your own intuition and your own inner guidance. So that's beautiful. So even if you're in a challenging situation, and in fact, probably because of that, it's actually a way for you to jumpstart your connection to your intuition and to your connection to spirit and your guidance from a spiritual side, that can actually really help you through. And a lot of times the most challenging situations that we encounter in our life are ones that are there to jumpstart us onto this kinds of understanding and cycles. Next card you've got is the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, great. There's so many pentacles in all of these piles. So I think that we're all working on towards material abundance and fulfillment, self-fulfillment. I get that sense from these piles. So I think too, with the Queen of Pentacles, she is kind of like one of the most lavish cards in the whole tarot. She's just like really in her own element and loving herself and her life and everything around her. So I think that connecting into sort of what you're grateful for in life that's surrounding you can help you move past any kind of difficulty or setback you may be in. But so far, yeah, I don't really know too much about that yet. We'll see. Oh, and the Magician. Wow, you guys are so magic. This is my magic pile, for sure. You're connecting into your own inner magic now. Le Batelier in French, because the Swiss deck is in French. The Magician is all about really connecting into spirit, and the same, very similar to the High Priestess. They're very similar cards, but the thing about the Magician is that he tunes into his intuition and then makes things happen in the world around him. He is the bridge between these two cards. Oh, that's so cool. So, you know, whereas the High Priestess is all about connecting into the other realms, and the Queen of Pentacles is all about being in the material realm, the Magician connects the two together. He is able to have visions and dreams of the higher realms and the unearthly, and then he takes the information and the visions that he gains from that space, and then he moves them down into the physical, into his life around him. The other thing about it is that he's also the only card that has all of the elements present within. Not in this deck, unfortunately, but in other decks, you've got the wands, the sword, the cups, and the pentacles all present within one card. So he unites all of the elements of the earth together in order to create magic and make things happen, manifest dreams. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. Wow. So, you know, as the thing about this, that we're coming into this Leo season is kind of, we're ending some cycles and moving into a new one. So you are really connecting into your own personal sense of power, your own connection to the divine. And you're going to be, I mean, you're about to jump off onto this like crazy, amazing manifestation period and just like, pow, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is my life. And I'm going to make it happen. And you're going to make it happen. Like, so much so. This is very powerful imagery right now. It's incredible. Next up, we've got the hand-drawn deck. This one I made myself. We've got the Five of Pentacles. There it is. Okay, yep. Five of Pentacles is the Dark Night of the Soul card. It talks about being in a period of difficulty, of hardship, of loss, and it's like kind of the darkest period of your life kind of a thing. The Dark Night of the Soul, the card on the Raider-Waite-Smith deck is kind of, it's two poor people who are desolate out in the snow outside of this church. But the thing about it is they're outside of a church, which indicates that being at this lowest point is actually their connection point with the divine. They've lost everything. They've lost anything around them. So there's nothing left to do but to turn towards their own inner wisdom, inner guidance, and their own spiritual connection. And oftentimes it's really not so awesome, but these really hard, challenging, difficult periods are there to give us this connection to the divine and to start connecting us to this larger sense of self, to connect us to, you know, our, I have a difficulty saying this, like higher purpose, but a lot of us do, you know, we came into this life for something, to do something, to be something, whatever it is. And sometimes your higher purpose is, honestly, for some people, it's just to have a good time, you know. It depends. It depends on what you need to work through with this life. We're all on these karmic cycles. We come into life in order to learn and to grow and to do something specific and to know something specific, to learn in a certain way. And that could be anything for you, you know? So I don't know exactly what it is, but I think for you, you know, with all of these power cards, with the intuition, with the Magician, I think that you are divinely connected to spirit. I think that you have this incredible connection within you, that, you know, maybe you're supposed to be doing something like mediumship or, you know, tarot readings like this, or who knows, you know, or some kind of artistic ability where being connected, you know, is important. Having deeply divine visions of creative projects that need to come into fruition or something. This period of challenge and being blocked is actually a period that's connecting you into that. So don't look outside of yourself for answers anymore. It's time to look within. And once you do, once you let go of this need to please the outside world and instead please yourself, you're going to be bridging the connection. I really see you as this bridge between the spirit and the physical. And that's what's happening in this Leo season, is that is igniting within you, which is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Next card we have is the Chariot. So it's very swift moving too. Oh, this is a very powerful card. You have so many powerful cards in this. This is incredible pile. If you chose this pile number 3, like, wow, this is like a very, very powerful pile here. So good on you. I love you. Swift moving action. It's happening very quickly. So this period now, once you finally tune in and connect in, any of these challenges that have been facing you before, it's done. You're going to let it go. You're going to grow. You're about to transform. You're about to leap like incredible psychological mental leaps to change your entire environment, your entire perspective. Everything's about to shift, and you're moving into a whole new phase of life and being, and it's beautiful, it's incredible, and I'm awe-inspired by all of it right now, so good for you. We got the 8 of Swords. Okay, yeah, okay. This is more of that energy of feeling trapped. So I really do think that you've been through, or you're currently in, kind of a darker period for yourself, and it's been really hard and really difficult, and you don't really know how to move forward, you know. But like I said, it's all about turning within, and that's going to start really giving you the nudge and the guidance and the aha and all of that you need. And the thing about the 8 of Swords is, in the traditional Raider-Waite-Smith deck, it's depicted as a woman who is blindfolded, and she's got her hands tied behind her back, so she's all kind of stuck there. But the thing about it is, it's all very loosely tied. She's very loosely tied, and so she could get out. If she just put in a little bit of effort, she could get that off in like 2 seconds. She could take off her blindfold. So it really does talk about how sometimes we feel stuck in a situation, which is exactly what the Awaz rune talks about, being stuck or feeling like, you know, you're in a challenge situation. It's that defense. But the thing about it is that you can get yourself out of that situation quite easily. It might take a step back. It's going to take thinking outside of the box, which is why you are, you know, this challenging situation is here giving you lessons to teach you to connect to your higher self, to connect with the spirit, to connect to the divine, to connect to these other realms and these other situations, to give you a period forward. I think you're probably seeing signs and symbols in your environment. I would check that out. Start looking into numbers and numerology. I mean, there are symbols and signs around you everywhere. You don't have to be super into angels or whatever, but I kind of am, and they've been really helpful for me, especially angel numbers. There's numbers everywhere in our environment, and like, you look around you right now, wherever you are watching this video, look around you. You're going to see a sequence of numbers. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Let me find one right now. Here's one right now. We've got all of these numbers down here, and so you'll start seeing numbers around you, right? Like the whole reason that I'm Juno palindrome is because of palindrical numbers that to me connect me deeply with spirit. Like any kind of sequence. Here's a bunch right now. 787. That's a palindrome. 787. You know, 353. There it is now. I see them everywhere now. And to me, that is my connection to spirit. And I see it and I know, okay, they're here. Everything's fine. Well, I'm connected. I'm into it. And then it just like helps me bring me back into my environment, bring me back into my world. It's like changing that perspective. And so when you get stuck in those thought loops and those things of, oh my God, everything's crazy. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, just look for a sequence of numbers and there it'll be. You know, you've got angel numbers here as well. If you want to get into angel numbers, you can look them up online. Just look up angel number, whatever, when you see numbers. But the angel numbers tend to be like 3 or 2 together, like 888, 666, 999. We've got 2 9s here, 99. Got 99 again. So you got 9 4 times, 9999. 44, 22. You got a lot of stuff here. Anyway, I don't mean to get super lost on that kind of tangent, but that kind of thing I think can really help you out, because it's going to start connecting you in everywhere in your environment. There's signs and symbols. If you see an animal, any animal in your life ever, that is a sign and a symbol. Connect in. Look up symbolism for that animal. You know, I've got a deer right here. Look up deer symbolism. They're connected in, you know, with the antlers. They're deeply spiritually connected because they have these antlers that are literally connecting them into the divine. You know what I mean? So those kinds of things, like, you've got guidance that's ready and waiting and willing to come into your life. And it's all around you right now. And now that you're in this dark period, it's there to give you that connection. And that connection to spirit is going to get you out of feeling trapped. And it's going to kickstart you, like transport you massively towards going in the complete opposite direction in living a life that you actually want for you. The life that's meant for you is coming into you now and possible for you now once you learn to see and trust and accept the guidance and the wisdom that is surrounding everywhere. Final 3 cards, we've got these our final 3 tarot cards from the Raider-Waite-Smith deck. First one is the Queen of Pentacles again. There we go, more confirmation. Like I said, when you get into this, boom, that's it. That's you, connecting you in to your own sense of abundance. Abundance is here for you. It's ready for you. It's waiting for you. And if you're not there yet, like physically, it's there in spirit. And so now you are connecting yourself to spirit so you can, like the magician, bring it down from spirit into the physical. You're ready to do that. You're ready to reel it in. Next card. Oh, and the 10 of Cups. Yes. Ultimate happiness. Ultimate emotional fulfillment. Ultimate love. Ultimate peace. It's here for you. It's ready for you. This is coming into your life now. Once you learn the lessons you need to learn from these difficult periods, it's done. Then you've learned that lesson. When you learn it, it's done. And you can move on into this peace now. You can move into peace now. It's coming. Wow. Oh, so powerful. Next card is the King of Wands. Yep. Who is very similar to the Magician. They're very similar cards. He's the ultimate manifester. He's the culmination of the Wands card. So he is a very powerful manifester. He follows his passion and his drive and his heart to a T. He's intimately connected to his intuition, and he is able to make anything happen around him. He is a powerful transformer of his own environment through his own passions and drive. So you have that. You have that available to you. It's all here. So powerful. This is an incredibly powerful reading. So this Leo season, this is connecting you to you in a way that you have never been connected before. And it is here, and it is ready to just like transform everything for you. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Let's continue on to the Oracle cards now. The first one we have is from the Fairytale Lenormand, which I'm not reading as a Lenormand deck right now. I'm just kind of reading it from the imagery on the cards. We got the Sun. There you go. Enough said. I don't even need to explain that one. The Sun is the happiest card in the whole tarot deck, and similar in this Lenormand. It's all about being at peace. Basking in the sun. It's the new day, the dawning of the new day. Ultimate happiness. For here on this fairy tale card, it's depicted as the happily ever after, right? You've got the prince and the Snow White meeting together in love, happily ever after. That fairy tale ending. You've got that fairy tale ending coming to you now. You're ready to enter into your own happily ever after period now. It's waiting for you. It's here. Just learn the lessons from these periods, connect yourself into spirit, and then you'll be able to bring in all of the things you need to bring in to transform your entire existence. Wow, so powerful. Next, normally I was just doing one of these Wild Unknown tarot cards, but 2 came out, so you've got 2 messages you need to hear from these. We got the Fool. Okay, so yeah, new start, brand new start, new energy. You got this little baby chick here. Little baby duckling. So, it's a new day. You've got a new journey ahead of you. The Fool is the very first card in the tarot deck, so it's talking about a new start. So you've got a brand new start now. It's opened up to you. This new start is here and ready for you to find your own ultimate fulfillment. It is here and ready and waiting for you. Next one you've got is the 10 of Wands, which is the overburden card, which, yeah, exactly. So you're coming out of that. See that dark stuff? That's what you were at. This is where you maybe are, or where you were, or what you're leaving. And now you're going to let all that heaviness go. See how dark and heavy that is? Can you just feel that? Feel that. Feel that, ugh, right? And now feel that, right? Or even just feel this, because I think these cards go together, right? You know, that's done. Now you're this little baby chick, hanging out on a tree. Everything's great. Yeah, you're good for you. Good for you. It might be hard right now, you know. It's not going to be easy. It never is easy, but ease is coming to you. Peace is coming to you. Ultimate abundance is coming to you. Connection to the divine and to spirit is coming to you. You got so much coming to you. So, yeah, final card. Past, present, and future. Ooh, neat. Let's read that. Integrating past, present, and future. We all arrive on this earth with a plan. We all have lessons to learn. In the process of learning these lessons, most of us will encounter experiences that will be labeled as bad. See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the whole reading right here. Listen. Wow. This labeling and duality we carry with us wherever we go is what we call our so-called baggage. When we let these labels direct our reactions to life and experiences in the present, or even project them into the future, we are working with a lower energy vibration. So there you go. It's kind of like taking the bad things and bringing them into our future. When you are able to integrate your lessons without labels, then you are free to remain in the present experience and enjoy it for what it truly is. You can then move forward into the future without expectations or agendas and be much more open to what will be for our highest and best. Let go of labels and judgments surrounding this situation. There you go. That's exactly it. So you might be in a situation and have experienced a lot of things that have been painful and that you have labeled as bad, which makes sense. I mean, you know, hard stuff is hard. That's never going to change. Think about it. These hard things, when you can shift your perspective and start to see them as lessons, what have these hard things taught me? What have these things grown within me? How am I able to cope with life now because of these things? When you connect into those lessons, you integrate it as a lesson instead of as a pain, then you give yourself the gift of being able to release that and to move forward in life with that lesson learned. And then you've grown as a person tremendously. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And that's coming to you. That's absolutely here for you, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to leave you there. This was a really powerful and wonderful reading. If you'd like something more specific, I can do a private reading. I have them available on my website, www.junodrome.com. I would absolutely love to give you one. We can get way more in depth and talk about a lot of specific things. I've got two different options. If you don't want to talk to me one-on-one, I totally understand. I'm kind of agoraphobic sometimes myself, so I do a slightly cheaper video reading where I will get super in-depth for you and record it, and then you can play it back as many times as you want. Or we can do, for a little bit more expensive, a whole hour one-on-one connecting reading where I talk to you directly. You can ask me any questions. We can read through some things. If you want to take notes, I can explain everything I can about a certain card. You can keep asking me questions, whatever you want. You got a whole hour. Just do whatever. So yeah, let me know, www.junodrome.com. I've got some discounts for YouTube subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel. And leave me a comment either way. I would love to hear from you what you think about this, what you think about the new weekly format. I think it's going to be great. I want to do these in-depth readings because I like getting deep into things, but I can't do them too terribly often. So I figure if I get it in once a week with one of these in-depth ones, and then the rest of the week I can do my quick fun ones, I think that'll be a nice little balance of everything I want to do for you. So yeah, let me know what you think either way. Let me know how you like the channel. I would love to hear from you. I'd like to build a community, so yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions. Anyway, that's your reading. Have a wonderful day. You guys, you might be going through some hard stuff, but trust me, it is leading you into the most incredible magic that you have ever experienced in this life. So stick with it. Love you. See ya. Hey there, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. This is your weekly check-in. This week's weekly check-in is all about the beginning of Leo season. Welcome to Leo season. We've got this wonderful, in-depth, supercharged reading for you today to be all about where you are this week, what's going on, and how you can move forward in your life right now. So let's get started. We've got a couple of oracle decks, a couple of tarot decks, and a rune stone. So I've got a lot of things going in. It'll be really dynamic. It's super detailed as much as we can for being a general reading. And yeah, let's get going. So first up, we've got the Gibo rune, this little X Gibo. It literally translates to give. It is a a rune of partnership. It means connecting with another person. It can be, or connecting with yourself, connecting with spirit. It talks about relationships, being in a relationship potentially. So you've got this rune talking about relationships here as your first rune. That's pretty interesting. So this may end up being a relationship reading. We'll see. Let's find out. First of the tarot cards we've got from the Swiss deck here, which is one of my favorites. Ooh, La Mort, which the Swiss deck's in French. So you've got Death here as the first card. Don't be worried. Death card is not as scary as it looks. The Death card, it talks about change. It's all about major change in one's life. So a cycle and a period of your life has now ended, and you are moving into a new one. And the thing about the Death card is that it's actually all about an internal transformation. And then that is how your external life will now change because of what's happened on the inside. Whereas other cards like the Tower are more about these dramatic external changes. Death is kind of the end of an internal phase. One way of being, one way of understanding the world has now ended. And now you are flipping that and moving into a new one. And somehow this has to do with relationships. So we'll get into that the more cards we see. Ooh, the King of Cups, which he is the card meaning the ultimate in love, loving and kinding. He's the most compassionate of the masculine forces. He represents the most compassionate and kind and gentle masculinity that's possible. Think about Mr. Rogers. The King of Cups is Mr. Rogers in a tarot card, which is wonderful. So this sort of love, you know, I think that maybe this new phase that you're coming into is really connecting into this very compassionate, kind, and nurturing and loving energy. And you've got the Knight of Wands. Okay, which talks, the Knights are all about movements, and they're what is moving within the suit. And the Wands are all about passion and drive and connecting to your own internal intuitive forces and using that as a power source, moving you forward, charging you forward in life. So the movement that you are experiencing in this change that's occurring is really connecting you into your own sense of personal drive and personal power, which makes a lot of sense for Leo. Leo is all about your own inner strength and your own personal power. And so for you, I think that it's really connecting you into this very deeply compassionate energy and then using that to charge you forward into your connections in life, into what you're making happening in life, especially because the kings are all about those, like I was saying, the divine masculine energy. To have that in connection with the compassion and the love, it's really, to me, is showing that love is really fueling you forward now. And so, yeah, I think that this partnership rune may actually be about the self, connecting into your own sense of self-love, and that's what's changed. Any kind of self-hurting behaviors you have maybe practiced in the past have ended, because you now know how to connect to your own inner King of Cups to use that divine loving energy towards yourself and towards the world around you. And that is now what's pushing you through the world moving forward. That's beautiful. I think that's so beautiful. Good for you. You guys are wonderful. Let's do the next tarot cards. These are my hand-drawn deck, which is actually based off of the Swiss deck. Funnily enough, I had gotten a book that had all of the illustrations from the Swiss deck as like a tarot definitions book from my grandmother when I was in college, I think. And it was hers from the 70s. It was this old book that I got, and I drew my deck based off of that one as I was learning them before I really kind of dove really deep into tarot. And then years later at a thrift store, I found the Swiss deck. It was like the most mind-blowing thing to see it there. And I was like, whoa! So I bought it, obviously, and now I've got both, which is great. So, first card. Oh, you got the Magician. Okay. Yep. So this connects very much in with this Knight of Wands energy. Like I was saying before, you're connecting to your own inner passions and you're manifesting this new life for yourself. The thing about the Magician is the Magician connects in. Potentially also, there are aspects about pile number 3 that are similar to this. I think that you are not. Pile number 3 was in kind of a really difficult, challenging place. I don't feel that from you. I don't think you're in that. But potentially pile number 4 is where pile number 3 is leading to. So maybe you could check that out if you wanted to. But there's some parallel imagery. The Magician was in pile 3 as well. What's interesting about this is that the Magician is all about connecting the divine and the spiritual and bringing it into the physical world around you. That's the other meaning for this Gibo rune, is connecting into spirit and connecting into divine, being in partnership with divine, which is what the Magician is. The Magician is in direct partnership with the spiritual realms and with spirit, and they're able to get these amazing, incredible visions given to them from spirit, and then they're able to move that through the physical world and shape the world around them. It's really absolutely incredible. So I see that you have this energy now coming towards you, and this change, this death card is indicating that anything before that was blocking you, all of those phases and cycles that you had been through that were bringing you down, that were challenges, that were hardships, all of those things, you've now switched out of those. You've now switched out of the thinking and the thought processes that led you into those situations in the first place. And now you've gotten the lessons from them and you're able to move into this new energy. I really do feel like this is a direct reflection from pile number 3. So if you want to see maybe where you were a year ago or in a different part in your life, check out pile number 3 to just see where you were. And this is where you've come. Now, pile number 3 was kind of getting that ultimate abundance towards him, or towards them, from the one of their cards. I think they got the King of Pentacles, which that's why I said he. Anyway, what's interesting is that I think that now you have unlocked that within yourself. You've developed this deep sense of self-compassion, and now you're ready to move into the next phase, which is really shifting things, making things happen. You've got this swift-moving Knight of Wands energy present in your life now that you've closed out this last cycle. And so Leo season for you is really supercharging you forward on your journey in an incredible way. You got the 9 of Swords here. Okay, interesting. I think that there may be some residuals still. This is the card of anxiety. So I think that every now and then you might have some anxious periods. Or like I was saying, this is talking about the cycles that you had been in previously. It can indicate anxiety, fears. So remember not to focus too much on the fears and to really keep a clear mind, keep a clear head as you're moving forward, that your thoughts really do affect your life around you. If you can start, a lot of times anxiety and stuff can be really helped with mindfulness practices. So look into some mindfulness techniques, look into meditations. Any kind of grounding meditation can really help you, because anxiety is all in, with the swords as well, it's all in the mental body, in the mental sphere. So it's really moving yourself out of being mental sphere, mental body dominant, and move yourself back into the heart center, which is what the King of Cups acts completely from his heart center. So moving back into your heart center, tuning back in with the emotional body, because the emotional body is equally as important as the mental body. They need to be united and forced together, which is exactly, I'm doing the rune here. Oh my God. That's what this Gibo rune is saying for you in this situation. is really uniting the mental body and the emotional body together. And that can really help you. Anxiety comes in when we are not connected with our heart. Our heart knows what's up. It always knows what's up, but it can't speak for itself. It needs to be connected to the mental body in order for our ego and our personal sense of self to hear what it's saying. So do some heart center meditation. Look up on YouTube heart center meditations. There's so many of them. I think that can really help you connect into this and really let go of some of this residual anxiety that might be floating around and let it go so that you can be totally and completely present in this magician period, because that is what's opened up to you. You've changed into this new phase. Oh, it looks like you got 4 of these cards. Cool. You got some extra. Oh, yeah, you got the sun. There you go. This is where you really are. Like I was saying, any kind of anxiety that might be there, I think that's residual, and I think that's from the past. I think maybe that was where you were. And like I said, if it's coming up as residuals, just tune back in with your heart, because you've got the King of Cups here, so you've got a powerful connection to your heart center. And when you do, you connect back in with the sun and your own inner light and the beauty that is present within you and around you. It's the dawning of a new day, bright, sunny atmosphere. Maybe, take some breaks too. Go to the beach every now and then if you have that accessible to you, or go outside in the sun, do some sunbathing, or even just walking in the park in nature and experiencing a beautiful summer day somewhere. I think that can really help you too. But I feel like you're in this beautiful new energy that's just really, really wonderful. Final card, 2 of Swords, being at a crossroads, being at a choice. So I don't know. For you, I really feel like it's just continuing on with this Ebo imagery. See where it's got the 2 lines? So you've got, like I was saying, you've got the mental body and you got the emotional body. Unite those together. Make the X. Change them from being separate like that, being opposite of each other, being divisionary, and connect them together. And that is going to help you move into this extreme period of beauty and peace that is now for you. And it's change, right? Because you had the Death card, so you are leaving a previous way of thinking. And that's kind of what this is talking about too, being at the crossroads. You're now moving in the new direction instead of following the same direction. You've jetted off into a new mode of being. And so, you'll always have some residuals popping up, especially being at the beginning of this new cycle. You'll have some things from the old cycle kind of rearing its head every once in a while, but that period is over. So when it happens, tune back in with your heart center, do some mindfulness practices, do some meditation, maybe do some yoga, connecting with your physical body, maybe exercise, anything like that. Get out of your head, get back into your body, and that can help you connect back into this new sense of spirit that I think that you have, this sense of intuitive connection. And that's always going to steer you in the right place. So for the Raider-Waite-Smith deck, let's see what cards we got. We got the 2 of Wands. Yeah, so now that you've done that, now that you've moved out of those periods, you're ready to go journey off into the world. See that? He's holding the globe in his hand. So it's really indicating that you've got this period opened up now of open possibilities. Maybe you have travel in your future, but if you're like me and stuck in the United States with everything going on in the world right now, which is a whole other thing, don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. Maybe that's the anxiety thing too. Disconnect from social media. Like, it's important, I know, to stay informed, trust me, but right now in this particular moment, we've got some real nasty things going on in all the media and social media, so just tune it out. I got like 5 minutes a day on social media, and I go on Reddit just to see what's happening, and then 2 seconds in, when you start to feel the anxious, when you start to feel the anxiety, when you start to feel even in your heart any kind of twang, that's when it's like, nope, time to tune it out. I'm not doing that for a while, which is hard, because like I said, I think it's important to stay informed, but also don't buy in on the apocalypse news, you know what I mean? Like, it's change that's happening, and change isn't always easy, but you are well equipped to ride out the storm for sure. You got the sun, you got the magician, you got a new journey, like I was saying. So maybe you have travel, but maybe it's inner travel, or maybe it's just starting a new plan, planning out your new life. This talks about transforming plans into action. So I think you're about to start acting now. Anything that you've been wanting to have happen and want to accomplish, Leo season is now supercharging you towards moving in that active position. So you've got that opened up to you now. And next card, the Judgment card. Okay, Judgment talks about, whoops, well, hopefully that's not too bad. Judgment talks about reflections, being in a period of reflecting, and moving on now. So two, I think that for you, you know, maybe this is a good time to look back and see where you've come. Like I said, if you were in a really difficult time about a year ago and you worked really hard and you tried to move yourself out of it, and now you're in a much better period, which is kind of the sense that I'm getting, check out pile number 3 just to see how far you've come, just to see how this reflective period has brought you to where you are now. Because, you know, look back on your life and see where you've come, see how you've grown, because you definitely have. You've definitely traveled really far, and now you're ready to move forward. And so by processing a lot of these things, seeing where you were and then letting them go, that's going to clear things out within you to move you into this new period. And it's really beautiful. Final card is the Knight of Cups. So you've got also movement in your heart space, in your heart center, exactly, connecting you with that King of Cups energy again. It's just kind of reflecting that. But, you know, the thing about the cups is that it's very slow moving energy. It's one of the slowest moving of the knights. It's not the slowest, but it still moves rather slowly. So this movement into self-love and to self-fulfillment and feeling stable and feeling comfortable in a place, you know, it takes time. It really does. And this card is kind of reminding you that it's movement, that movement is happening. And maybe it's been so glacially slow that you don't really realize how much you've grown, which is where this judgment and reflection is coming back in. It's like, it's really time to reflect in and see really just how far you've come in your own emotional fulfillment and emotional development, because I think you've come a tremendous amount. It's really inspiring and really beautiful to see that. So that's great. Those are your tarot cards. Let's do some of the oracle cards now. The first one is from the Fairytale Lenormand, which I am reading not as a Lenormand deck, just kind of as symbolism. So stay tuned with that. First is the Anchor. Okay, the Anchor is all about grounding. So just what I was saying about doing those mindfulness practices and those meditations, connecting into the emotional body, also do some grounding. I think that's incredibly helpful and incredibly important as well. One of the readings I did a little while ago is I did this short readings. You'll see it on my channel for how to connect to your own intuitive powers, your own intuition. And one of the readings was all about grounding. So it'd be kind of fun. If you check out that reading, you might find the grounding meditations one. I talk all about grounding. There's some really great grounding meditations on YouTube as well. So you can just kind of Google that if you want. But it's really kind of doing these guided meditations, these deep breathing exercises where you imagine your energy center moving deep, deep, deep underground, connecting with Mother Earth, and then bringing that energy up into your energy field, up into your body, and then out the top of your head and kind of spilling all around you. Those kinds of meditations can really help center you, help ground you, and keep you from diving too far up into these anxious and mental body spheres and difficulties. So like I was saying, this grounding energy is coming to you. So that's great. Like, do some meditations. I think that would really help you. Next, oh my God, we've got the Emperor, but you see the Emperor is the tree, which is another grounding message. So yep, meditations, grounding. The thing about the tree is like, this tree can't grow without being deeply rooted into the ground itself. So in order to grow up, it also has to grow down. So that's kind of like reminding you, as you connect in with your magician and your inner guidance and your own intuition, you really need to make sure that you are grounding yourself in your body and in the world and in the earth, because that's going to help you be able to connect even better, to get more messages, to get more understanding, to get more comfort, peace, all of that. It's really going to help you with that. Final card that we've got is from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it is the Truth card. Ooh, with that eagle imagery, and eagles and hawks are all about seeing things from a larger perspective. So instead of getting stuck on the day-to-day and the mundane in the situation, or like if you're stuck in a he said, she said situation or anything like that, it's learning to step back from that, step back from the human level and start seeing things from a larger perspective. Imagine like you're the eagle, you take off from the ground and you start flying up, 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 up above the sky, and then you see everything around you. So you start to see things from this much more larger perspective. And it's like seeing the forest for the trees instead of just seeing the trees, kind of an idea. So let me read the book from that too, because I think it's helpful to hear somebody else's words in this situation. 2. Truth. The eagle proudly surveys its domain from such a high perch that all pertaining to this situation is revealed. The shadows hide nothing from his keen vision. Once you can remove yourself from the muck that lower vibrations keep you in, you can attain a viewpoint that enables you to see the truth of the matter. This card advises you to search for truths of the situation, regardless of the emotions it brings up. Are you or someone connected to you unconsciously suppressing the truth? Hiding from the truth can only intensify the lesson later on. So there you go. It is kind of talking about that perspective shift. And then also, I think it connects in with this judgment card as well, like I was saying before, of this reflective period. I think it's time now to look back on the past and to see how far you've come, to see what's changed, to see what's moved in your life. And that's really going to help solidify in how far you've come and where you're going now. So yeah, I think this is great. You know, it's a really, really wonderful reading. If you'd like a private reading with me, I can get way more in depth. These don't really get super specific, but I can get incredibly specific with you and your own personal life and your own personal situation. So check out my website, www.junodrome.com. I've got 2 different options and a discount for YouTube subscribers for both. So please subscribe to the channel. But I can do either if you don't want to do a one-on-one, I can totally understand that. I can do a video reading for slightly cheaper. So you can play it back anytime you want. And it's a half an hour and I just get as in-depth as I possibly can for you in your situation. And then I also offer a slightly more expensive one-on-one 1-hour reading. So that we will do through video chat, connect in one-on-one. I'll do a detailed reading with tons of cards, and you can ask as many questions as you want. We can go in depth with cards. You can ask multiple questions from me, and I can try to see answers from that. So we can get way more specific if we do that. Let me know either way, and feel free to let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. I love to hear from you. And yeah, subscribe to the channel for more content. I'm going to be doing many more frequent videos from now moving forward, where I do a weekly super in-depth reading like this, and then I do slightly quicker readings that are still fun with lots of imagery and super helpful for you throughout the week on different subjects. So tune back into my channel, let me know what you think, and I love you. I love you. See you later.